welcome to Third Eye Champagne. I'm Kirsten, Langston, author and intuitive. I have a guest with me today, as you can see. This is Elizabeth Westerman. She is from, I'm going to say it wrong. That's what I'm going to do. Daota.com. And we are talking sound code therapy today. Elizabeth, I've had the pleasure of chatting with you just now for a few seconds. And I'm in. Whatever we're doing, I'm in already. I'm ready to go. You guys, her energy, can I just tell you guys before I let her talk? Elizabeth's energy is beautiful. It's really lovely and it's a joy to be around. Just in the few minutes I've been speaking with her, I'm just blown away by it. She is, what do we want to say? A kind of a sound healer. I mean, this is what you do. I had the I'm going to tell you how we got here. And I'm really going to let her talk, you guys. I swear to God, I'm going to let her talk. But I want to tell you how we got here. So, as you know, I've been working with Debbie, and Debbie started doing this thing called sound code therapy. And it had a very profound effect on me. And we can get into that later. But it had such a profound effect. I said, Debbie, we have to tell the world about this. Why don't more people know about this? And she said, well, I can hook you up with my teacher who taught me. And I'm going, are you kidding me? Yes, please. And so she introduced me to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth very graciously agreed to come on the show and talk to you guys about this really vital healing work. So that's my intro. There we go. Hi, Elizabeth. How are you?
Hello. Well, I'm very happy to meet you and your enthusiastic way of being. This is what I love about the US. As you can hear, I'm not from the US. I'm German, and I will do my best to not make too many mistakes language-wise. uh, and I love you people over there because you are so enthusiastic and you are happy to find out about new things.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I know the Americans can come across as very big. We we all have big personalities here.
Yeah.
So let's talk. Should we dive into? You want to talk about Atlas balancing and what that is? Should we more get into sound codes? Where do you want to go from here? I'll cut
I
this
would
part
like
out.
to, I would like to explain a little bit what sound codes are,
Okay.
because, and I would like to also give you an experience of hearing them and feeling how they work on your body, the listeners. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So my first thing that I have to say though, you mentioned the website. The .com will be separated from the .org because we have some issues with the two languages. So
Okay.
.org will be the English website.
.org. Okay. And I will make sure. So when I upload this, I'm going to have all your information written down
Good.
below the video, so they will be able to just click and go.
Right.
So we will have that. So, okay, let's talk sound codes. What are they? How do they help? What do they do?
So sound codes are actually a very ancient approach from what I understand. And I happen to have the chance to re-download them, I could say. Yeah.
Mm.
And they are very specific healing modalities for the whole system, for the physical body, for the emotional body, for the mental body, and for spiritual growth. So everything comes together here, which is in itself beautiful because we are a makeup of all of these layers. And if we just work with the physical system alone, the other systems have to follow somehow also. And in this case here, you can really work with all of them together. The other thing is that they are very specific, and this is very unique because usually when you use music in an overall sense, yeah, and you use singing in an overall sense. You use singing for healing you have your own system open up for the healing energies, and then you give some songs. This is different. Here you have really sound codes. That's why it's called sound codes in one word. Or you could actually say singing codes.
Mm-hmm.
You would sing a little melody that is very specific. So the download goes as follows. I know what is out of balance and how I would like to see it balanced. And then I ask for a sound code for that information. And that's what it is, information. So I get this information and I get the sound code that would specifically work on that region of the body, giving the information into the body, how it could function healthily.
Mm.
That is actually what a sound code is. And you can sing it in every pitch. There is no, you don't need to carry a piano around. Yeah, you can sing it in any key that you would like to sing it in.
Mm.
So it makes it easy for the people to really sing them. I happen to have learned singing. I've been even in university with singing. However, this is not at all necessary. You can, almost everybody can sing a little melody. Yeah, there are little songs that you have sung to your children or you have sung as children. And it's not more difficult than that. It's very specific and it defines itself through the melody, the rhythm, and the vowels and consonants that you would sing.
Mm.
That's all. And since it's information, it is not manipulative, which I find is very important. So I can give this information to the system that is sitting in front of me, to the human, to the animal, to the nature, wherever I would like to give it. And then I can let it go and let the divine or let the universe take care of how it works, where it works, when it works, and in what extent it would work.
Mm.
So I would never even being able to interfere into the karma or the way people would develop. They might need certain problems so that they can grow from it. So then the sound codes would do their work in their way, and they would wait for the time where they can do the whole work.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's amazing.
So
So,
there, no manipulation.
how many people have you trained to do this work?
Well, I have been training, I think, in 16 countries already.
Amazing.
Uh, some countries came to the US when I came to the US. So people
Wow.
came from Canada, they came from Australia, they came from New Zealand over to the US to get trained with me. And I have trained quite a few people in the US. Many of them have forgotten about it because it's some years ago. That's probably the reason why it's not so well known right now in your country. I think it's about almost 100 people that I trained in the US. And in Germany or the German speaking countries, it's probably 200.
Wow.
And in the German speaking countries, we have about, I would think, 70 people that are really working with it. We
Mm.
all know that people take this and they're interested and then it falls aside because it's not actually theirs. It was for them and not for the others. So, and now we're just at the point to want to reawaken the idea about being able to heal with these sound codes in the way of giving information that will help the body to heal itself. Yeah. And I've trained some trainers, I think it's four or five of them in the US, who are ready to do trainings also, to
Mm.
train people to be practitioners. Yeah. So, and I have lots of practitioners that have been working with it for a while and that maybe might be interested to reawaken this work in their life and add it to their portfolio. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really important what you're doing. I so kind of walking through kind of a typical so a client comes to you, somebody comes to you and they say, "Man, I'm really depressed." And you go, "I have a sound code for that." I mean, is that basically how it works? Like they come to you with the issue and you say, "All right, let's go through the list."
Not really.
Okay.
There are certain basic treatments that would take care of your whole system. And
Hmm.
when you come with a depression, it could be that it's an endogene. I mean, it's coming from really from a source that you actually don't know or you don't put your finger on. If
Oh.
that's the case, then you have to do with a real disease. And then it is uh, a more difficult situation. So I can do some work that would help you to better cope with this disease. Yeah.
Mm.
If a person comes and says, I feel really rather depressed, then it's usually because they are depleted of energy.
Mhm.
And then the Atlas balancing that you just mentioned in the beginning would be one of the things that I would think of at first. Yeah,
Interesting.
because that would help to balance the whole body out. And since the atlas, being the first vertebra of the spine, is connecting head and body, and all of the nerves that go through that region either go around the atlas or go through the atlas, you can imagine that when you work on it, it will actually help the whole system to reorganize itself. The mitochondria. Oh, this is
Mhm.
difficult for me in English.
Got it. You got it.
uh, as we know, is the place where the basic energy is ATP is located. So to get the connection to that would be another step. Yeah, and I can sing that sound code for you before we end.
Yeah.
I have some sound codes in storage that I would like to sing for the people that are listening, so you get an idea, you know, because this is new. You have no idea. I can talk all the time. The experience is that makes the difference, I would think.
It really does. So you've mentioned the atlas balancing. I'm gonna tell you guys. Um, I you guys know when I find something new and I find something that works, I want to share it with all of you. And this is no exception. So basically, I have had at the base of my skull, at the very base of my skull, I have had this awful pain, and it's been there for years. And I've had my chiropractor work on it. I've had my acupuncturist work on it. I mean, I would literally sit there at night and I would dig my knuckles into there to try to make it feel better because it felt so tight and so terrible, and it would stretch along here and just feel, I mean, awful, awful, awful. So with when Debbie contacted me, and she's been working with me, as you guys know Debbie. She said, "Let's try Atlas balancing for that." Because she had mentioned it. She said, "Oh, this is the thing." She's mentioning all the modalities that she does. And she said, "Oh, I do Atlas balancing." And I said, "Well, what's that?" So she talked about it. And I said, "I think maybe." And she says, "Yeah, that would be a good idea." So I did it with Debbie. And I am not kidding you guys. So essentially she sits me down and she starts doing the sound code. So it's not hands on. Debbie is in Georgia. I am in California. We are not in the same place at the same time. So it's all sound therapy. But I am not kidding you. That pain for the first time in my life is gone, and it's been months now. It has not come back. That tightness is gone. I feel everything going down my neck, down my shoulders. You guys, I used to be in such pain. I would be in knots. I would have knots that went all the way down my neck and all the way through here, all the way down my back. I don't have them anymore. um I think it's really miraculous. And so that's what my experience with atlas balancing is. I'm sure Elizabeth can give us more from her side of things, and I would love to know what you can tell us.
Well, I would like to ask you some things that you might not have connected with the Atlas balancing that
Hmm.
also happened. Do you have more energy now?
Well, I do. And it's a little bit funny because, as I was telling you before we jumped on here, so I was on my deathbed 6 months ago, and this is this is really cool. So I love that you asked me that, because I was very frustrated. When you get sepsis, I'm thinking, "Oh, gosh, I'll be fine in 2 weeks," which is stupid. Like, of course, I'm not going to be fine in 2 weeks. But I just today, because I was very frustrated, because, okay, what am I doing now? Since the Atlas balancing, I am walking 12 miles a week. And I'm getting mad because when I walk, I can only come home and work out after that 2 days a week. And I'm going, this is ridiculous. I should be feeling better. So today I actually talked to the doctor and I said, I feel like I'm not making enough progress. And the doctor says, well, what are you? You're about 5 months out, 5 months away from where you were. Yeah, about 5 months. And he says, and what are you doing? So I tell him, I said, well, I can walk 12 miles a week, but then I can't work out. And, I can work 7 hours a day, but I can't work 12. And he's going, are you crazy? He says, it takes 18 months to recover from sepsis. The fact that you are even walking at all is a miracle.
You see?
Yeah. So yes, I do have a bunch more energy. I
Yeah.
really do.
And it could also be that your digestive system is working better. It could be that your sleep is better.
My sleep is amazing. I sleep like a baby, and I'm sleeping, and my body obviously needs it because I'm sleeping a lot. So I'm sleeping about 10 or 12 hours a night, but I don't wake up. I mean, I don't wake up in the middle of the night. I don't, I sleep immediately when I get in bed. I mean, it has been profound. And I used to have this I would get swollen lymph nodes through here, all
Mhm.
swollen through here. I don't get it anymore.
Yeah. See? All of these things can have to do with the Atlas misplacement.
Mhm.
Another thing that is very, very profound and is very important to work with is the ADHD.
Mm.
Because what I've seen here in Germany, and I've been working together with an MD who is a neurologist and also an anthroposophic doctor who's taking care of the children of the Waldorf school. So he was able to see them once in a while, and they have a certain when the children start school and they are not actually at the place where they should be to be able to attend school because of ADHD and things like that, KISS syndrome, um, all of that. They have 1 year of they call it a bridge class, so they can bridge the way to the school. And in this bridge class, of course, you would have those children who have that problem. And so he worked with me, and he had me do a session, and it was just one session, and then a second one to just check up, which is important for every session that you do. So with this one session, each and every one of these children was able to go to a normal through a normal school situation after that. And I've seen also the problems that you see in the physical system change.
Mhm.
They have another pattern of walking where you can see something is out of joint here with the central nervous system and the valgus nerve. and the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, and it all evens out in a matter of a week or two. And that's so beautiful. They don't need the medication anymore. They can just, they can function, and they become happy people
Yeah.
because they have the connection between heaven and earth. And that is very important. They need that to be able to function, especially in these times where everybody gets shaked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be able to stand tall. And they can do that once the atlas is at place. So this is really important for people to have that possibility to have their atlas in a balanced place. And with this information, it just happens by itself.
Yes.
As you have seen.
Yes. Yes. And that's one thing I do want to tell you guys. It's kind of a one and done. It's not, oh, you have to keep coming and you have to get it done once a year. No, you do it once and you have a follow-up session to make sure everything works and everything's good and you're done. So for me, especially when you're dealing with healing, a lot of people, I think they get upset when a practitioner says, "Well, you got to keep coming back." They get upset. Um, and with something like this, it's like, no, it's one and done. And I mean, please sign me up to be your poster child because I am a complete convert. I mean, it really does work, and it has. I was already doing other stuff because I had PTSD, so I had really bad trauma, PTSD, and I had a lot of anxiety, and I was having panic attacks, and I was doing other things to take care of that. But I did notice with the Atlas balancing, it's now completely gone. Completely gone to the point where just this last weekend, I went out into the middle of nowhere, literally in the middle of nowhere, not a soul around, and I went camping. And for me, that's something that should be so anxiety producing. And it wasn't until we heard the bears. When we heard the bears, I was like, well, okay, this is a little bit, it's a little
Well, everybody would be a little scared about that.
bit.
That is normal.
But
If you were not, then I would be afraid. Yeah.
I mean, it really it helps with systemic issues. I mean, I think, um, well, let me ask you this: how do people know? I mean, it's kind of like you have these systemic problems. You're kind of like, well, let's check the atlas, right? I mean, that's kind of that's how you know.
There is a whole list on the website where you can see all of the different systems that can be affected when the atlas is out of balance. And usually you can't put those things on a website like that. However, I have this beautiful man that taught me Atlas prophylax years ago. That is how I got into the information of how the Atlas is misplaced. And he had all of these issues. And he made a list in his book. So I was able to just put it on the website. So you can go to the website and you can find it. The main things are migraines, problems with the neck, anxieties, problems with the back, um, digestive problems, uh, problems with sleeping, um, not a heart attack, but heart disorders.
Mhm.
All of that can be stemming originally from this misplacement. Yeah.
And my understanding, please correct me if I am incorrect, but my understanding is most people are either born with their atlas displaced or misplaced, or it becomes that way. I mean, this is very common for a lot of people, right?
Yes, it is common because it is something that you are born with. Otherwise, it couldn't happen. And that is one of the reasons why the usual medical profession doesn't even think of anything like that, because their program is you are born healthily unless you have a certain, uh, deficiency from birth. This is a common thing, and it also counts for the mammals. And If you go to the website and you're not really convinced, you can see some pictures of animals who have had that treatment, especially with horses with this so-called natural misalignment that they are in. That is only due to the atlas misplacement. When the atlas is at place and you start to train them after that, you will not see that misplacement.
That's so
And you don't need to train that away. It's gone naturally. Yeah. With the dogs, when they are elderly dogs, they usually walk like this instead of like this. They're not straight in walking, and the hind legs go wrongly into the front legs, like crossed. So if you do atlas balancing on them, you will see that they walk straight. It's easy for them to jump into the car again. I have this one beautiful experience of this dog when I was in Venice Beach, or at least in Venice region, Los Angeles, and I did this treatment on this one dog. She was a cute one, and she was already 14 years old. She was like this, like this high, like this, yeah. So a middle dog, and she couldn't jump into the car anymore. She couldn't roll for sleeping, and she was walking crossed, yeah. And she had a very stiff back. And by that time, I had trained a veterinarian who was her veterinarian, and so he brought the lady with the dog, and this dog got the treatment. She was walking after that like a youngster.
Wow.
And she got walked to the car. She jumped into the car just naturally, and the lady came back running towards us. She's jumping into the car again, and now she's rolling. This is just not possible. Oh my goodness gracious. And then she had another, I think, 3 years of happy life. And then when I came back to Los Angeles, I had this strong feeling I had to go to, this lady had a nice shop. I just went to that shop, and there she was, and the lady, the dog was in their private place, and she said, I want you to meet, I don't remember the name, her again. She's not doing really well. And so I met her again, and she actually told me that she was going to die. She was preparing to die. I didn't tell the lady, of course not.
Right.
I sang some sound codes for her. She calmed down totally, and 2 days later, she died in peace. Everything was fine. And she came back as a spirit to that lady. That is a whole other story. And left some signs that she would come back. I haven't seen the ladies ever since then, but I'm pretty sure that this dog is back with her now.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
Zoe, that's what her name was. Very, very touching experience. So since you see that with animals happening instantaneously, then you know that these things work.
Yeah.
And I happen to be somebody who is not doing something, out of the box that is, you never know how this works, where this works, and when this, not with me. Forget it. Yeah. And I told the spirits, when I actually got introduced into doing this work and downloading it again from the ethers, I was like, okay, guys, I'm not doing this unless I have proof that how this works, when this works, where this works, and why this works. Everything else you can forget. I can't do, and I won't do. And then I got this. To make a long story short, it took some years. It took, some experiences with the Atlas prophylax that I had learned. I had the tests before and after where I could clearly see that something had happened. And then I started working, and then I started working with dogs. And then I had this one training happening because I thought it might just be me who could do this work. Yeah. So I did a training with some people that I knew just for free in 2012 and beginning of 2012. And this one lady was working with horses and dogs, who was in this training. And she said, let's try this on dogs. So we had these 3 old dog or elderly dogs come in, like they were, I always forget what the breed is. They look like golden retrievers, but black.
Oh, labs, probably black lab.
Labrador, right. So so these dogs, they usually become, maybe if you're lucky, they become 14 or something. So they were elderly dogs between 9 and 11 years old, and they were really out of joint. Yeah, the whole back was stiff. They were up in the hind legs. They were of course waving tail to greet you, but it was like
Oh,
yeah.
baby.
So, ooh, I'm in pain when I'm waving my tail. So she was doing the work. I was backing up, closing the door so I wouldn't even put my energies into this.
Mm-hmm.
So she was working with the sound codes. She was doing the work. She had the dogs walked before. She had the dogs walked after. And right after the treatment of the first dogs, we went outside. We had him, it was a him, yeah. We had him walked, and he walked a little bit insecure. Then he shaked out very well. And then he walked like this.
Oh my God.
And his back down, his hips down, his tail woven like this. And he came back and he licked her hands
He
for
knew.
thank you. And then he
Yeah.
informed the others, and they were much more relaxed when they got the treatment, and the same thing happened. Yeah.
That's
So
amazing.
I knew it would work with anybody. And this lady, she's a very nice lady, a very nice lady. The only problem is she's not a singer, not at all. She was able to do the sound code, the melody. It's a very simple melody. You will see it at the end. It's a very simple melody. All of them are very simple to learn. But she was doing it like, no, not like that, but very, it was like, this could improve. Yeah. And it improved. It also develops, sound codes actually develop your voice. After half a year, she was like, yeah. It was,
What a
yeah.
difference. That's amazing. Well, I have to tell you, I was looking at your website a couple days ago, and there's you can play like samples of sound codes on there. And so my puppy, who was laying on my lap, and I played one, and he was asleep. He woke up and he looked at me, and he looked at the computer, and he looked at me, and he looked at the computer. I mean, there was something going on. You know what I mean? The dog knew. He was like, "What is this?" I mean, he knew something was going. It wasn't just that he heard a sound because I was, playing stuff on my phone earlier. He didn't bat an eyelash. He didn't wake up. But the minute he heard that, it was like, "Whoa, what is this?"
Yeah,
So,
they love it. They love it,
yeah.
especially State of Love sound code, and you will hear that is a sound code that they love dearly. And I happened to be in a dog shelter because I wanted to, when I was training people, I wanted to go to a shelter so that they can get some experience in working on dogs, and I could watch them. So I was introducing myself to that lady, and she was very critical. She was like, I don't want my dogs to go through something where I don't know if it really works and how it works. So I said, I can give you an example. And there was this really, really big dog in the corner of her office sleeping. And I started doing State of Love. She woke up. She came running towards me. She jumped on my lap and licked me all over the place. And the lady said, okay, you can come. This is okay.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
And luckily, I'm not afraid of big dogs. I mean,
Right?
this was really special.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. so you guys, I do want to say this. What we're talking about is really an ancient way of healing. We have sort of been trained out of believing in things like this and that things like this work, but sound healing, and my audience is very evolved, so they already know this, but I just want to reiterate, I just want to say it really is an ancient way of truly healing the body, and using those vibrations and using that energy to allow the body to heal itself, because that's really what you're doing, is you're facilitating the body to heal itself.
Right.
um have we covered everything? Do you feel like we've done it all?
I would just like to mention that there is not only working on the atlas, there is working on the pineal gland, there is working on the meridians and chakras if you would like to, and there are sound codes for the organs, and that would not heal you from, let's say, a liver cancer, of
Right.
course not.
Yeah.
Yeah. However, there are CDs that I made, and I could do a whole session on that, or a whole interview on that, to explain the frequencies that are in there and all of that. And I have experiences with these CDs. It's a little difficult for you in the moment to buy them because you have to go through a German website. We are trying to find a way to make it easier for you.
Mm,
These CDs are also available like wave data,
mhm.
and they do really work very, very well. I've seen things happening that you could actually call a miracle, with people with major problems with the gallbladder, with people with major problems with the kidneys. So it is a great helper in addition to medical work when you are really in a diseased situation.
Yeah.
So, and there are short, you could get a session with one of the practitioners in your country. And you could also look into the little seminars that are there for self-healing, and say to yourself, maybe this is something that I would like to research first and find out how the sound codes work. And then there are the free downloads. Then there is a whole package of sound codes for for keeping you in balance or getting you back into balance after vaccination.
Mm.
And that's a good one, I can tell you. I will hide it a little bit. It works. It absolutely works. So all of these kinds of things you can research on, and some of them are free of charge. This one I just mentioned is free of charge because I want people to have that. Everybody that would like to have it should have it for free.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like it and you say, I have a PayPal account, I want to give a little donation, be my guest, I will be happy. Yeah. Yeah. So you can go through all of these stages, and now you will get some sound code experience, right?
Yes. All right. So you guys, you're about to get a treat. Elizabeth is going to show us some sound codes. I'm so excited. I have to just have a moment. I'm so excited that people are going to be able to meet you. Look, I'm jumping up and down in the chair. They're going to be able to meet you. They're going to be able to experience what I experienced. I'm so, so excited. So I'm going to really zip my lip, and I'm going to let you do your thing.
So I actually brought 4 sound codes and a conclusion code for you. So one is for state of love, which is the actual state of being. That is the universalist that you can get. Then there is one that would help you to relax muscles that are very tense, so you can focus your attention on those regions. And then there is one that's called easy water hydration pump. That's the one that would get the water flow in your body going again. And you can actually Google Dr. Pollack in Philadelphia University, who has researched on this pump. so you get some background information. And then the last one will be, the conclusion code. Yeah? No, the connection upwards and downwards.
Hmm.
So, and then the conclusion code.
Okay.
Okay, now you can just relax. You can actually aim at a certain point where you have pain right now, or you feel that you can use some additional help. And then I will start. So close your eyes now. And go with your attention to your heart's chamber, the fifth chamber in your heart, where your soul, where your divine is located, and put an intent that these sound codes should work for you in the best way possible, in the greatest intent possible, the greatest way possible for you now and from this day onward. I-yo, 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 I-yo. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ay-yo, 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 ay-yo. Ay-om, 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 ay-om. Awen, 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 awen.
That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That was I'm sorry, I'm on another planet now. I
Yeah.
Wow. Elizabeth, wow. Thank you so very much. I really that just put me in a whole different state of mind. I mean, I went from a 10 to a 2. I'm just
Yeah, yeah, it's putting you into a state of trance
yeah.
because yeah, you go at least to theta. You can even go to delta with the music healing and trance CDs. You would be invited, not pressed into,
Mhm.
but invited to go into deeper states of trance so you can receive the sound codes even deeper.
I'm I have no words. My words have deserted me, which is unusual, as my viewers can tell you. Um, Man, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. I'm very, very happy to be able to meet you. I'm extremely happy to be able to get your very important work out to more people. I think so many people need healing, and this is such an easy way for them to do it, you know?
Absolutely. And there are some sound codes actually that you can sing for yourself. The one that you can download for yourself, you can sing right away. And then you can learn sound codes. It's easy.
I love it.
So there are little things that you can learn. There are bigger things you can learn, and you can become a practitioner for Atlas balancing, for working on the pineal gland, for working on the vagus nerve. All of that can be done. You can learn it.
I'm so
Okay.
out of it. I'm so out of it. I'm sorry. You got me. Um, I really want to have you back on the show. I want to have you back
Yeah,
and have
you
another.
know my address, you know my phone number. You can reach me, and anytime you would like to have me back, I can come. It's no
I
problem.
am obsessed. I'm completely obsessed. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in between, and children of all ages, this is Ms. Elizabeth Westerman, and you can find her and everything that she does at dowta.org, which is the English site. But don't worry if you go to the .com and you get the German site, because I did that at first and it will redirect you. You can find where to get there. But all the information you need for her and what she does is going to be in the box below. So if you're wherever you're watching this, if you're on the website or if you're on YouTube or wherever you are, if you're on Instagram, the link will be in my bio. So you'll be able to reach that website, reach Elizabeth, find, and there are practitioners listed on that site. And I know that you do have practitioners that are in the US. My primary viewership is in the US, but I have a lot of people in Australia and the UK. So they can kind of work with different time zones. Thank you so, so much for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.